All right, so I thought I should actually try to do a little video series about the process I'm going through to try to create my background for when I'm, on video. Anybody who's watching my videos knows that most of the time, well, basically all the time, I've always used a green screen, a pull down green screen, so I can do visual effects back behind. But I've wanted to have something where it's more, that storyteller's background, where you've got the shelves with your stuff on it, the lights, so it'll look all fancy and, make it look pretty cool. But to me, I also still need the ability to do the green screen because I like to be able to remove the background, have my face on in front of the video screen when I'm doing demonstrations and stuff, and you need that with the green screen. So I've already started, but I'm going to do a quick video here to show kind of the process I'm at, and I'll keep recording a couple more along the way. So first things first, let's show the area that I'm specifically working with, right? I have hesitated to do this for a very, very long time because I just really don't have a lot of space. And the other difficulty is these walls, there's no insulation, and they're really, really, really thin. So I can't mount stuff on the walls and hang them that way. So I've got to work within this environment. And, I got to give a big shout out to Misty Mejia. She is the one who really has been motivating me to do all this. So one of the first things I had to do is I had the setup where you can see the eye hook there, and across this green screen was perfectly set up right back behind here, fit right between the door and the wall, and it pulled right down against it. So I had the most space possible. So I got some shelves, and for the shelves to fit in means I had to move out the green screen. And of course, what that led to is I didn't have another place to actually mount this side since the pitch of the roof, everything else. So cut a board, put it in, screw it in, give me a place to now mount instead. Now, the next thing I had to do, of course, is trying to clean up the wall itself. So I used to have a whiteboard that was up there, the double stick tape, take all that off. And then my biggest pet peeve has been, because the way this house is built, all of this wall was all cracked, and you could see just all the black crack, kind of like you see there and there. So now what I'm doing is I'm waiting for this to dry, and the next step will be for me to paint all of this. All right, I got my super helper there, sleeping on the job. My first coat of paint. Looking here, I can now see areas I need to touch up, of course. But what I did is I went around with the brush first to all the easy to get to places so I could just roll it quickly and make it look better. All those gaps are going away and getting much nicer. Okay, so the next step in this process, as I'm sitting here waiting for the paint to dry, so yes, I guess you could say I'm sitting here watching paint dry. Well, to stay busy, what we're going to do is we're going to take the shelves that I already put together, and now we're going to add some lighting onto them. So these are some Govee RGB IC LED TV lights. Now I can tell you, I spent probably an hour going all the way around all the different Govee products. Govee seems to be like the best ones for LEDs. The only ones maybe are better are Philips, which are like twice the price. And they have a whole bunch of different ones you can go with where you can like cut the strands. And so what I'm talking about is, this is what it looks like, right? It's a rope of LEDs. The challenge that I found with a lot of those is I need something that's able to be done through the Govee app that's Wi-Fi, because I'm going to set it up to my Stream Deck. And certain ones only did Bluetooth, and that made it to where it just wasn't as useful to me, basically. So let me flip this around here, and we'll show you the shelves and what we're talking about doing. Okay, so this is the shelving system I got. These were actually pretty cost effective, and luckily these channels are just wide enough for the plan is that I'll put these LED strips right along the strip here like this and get them stuck on. So I have two different kits, one for each shelf, and I'll basically wrap it around to follow along. And then each section can actually, you can have different colors if you want, or all one color. So I'll do one to each shelf and be able to light that stuff up. So if you ask me my opinion, this is probably one of the most difficult parts, is going to be trying to figure out with the LED strips how you want to actually set these up. So what I've basically done, and you really should use blue tape, it's better for furniture, everything else. I basically am just quickly taping the pieces to try to fit all of it along to see how it's gonna look, because you have to like turn corners a certain way. It's hidden behind this one. I'll show you another one over here. Like that. And since it's all one piece, you need to kind of figure out like, how's it gonna fit on there to get the lighting that you want. For example, I'm kind of bummed that this is an empty space. So there's a little extra, I may move this part down a little and shift it down just a little bit. So once you figure out where you want it, then you can undo the adhesive, because the adhesive on these things always suck. You want to use your own if you can. Okay, so I basically just put the shelf up close against the wall. The paint's still drying, so it's not all the way up against it or in place. But now I've got it plugged in, and you can see how the LEDs wrap around and how you can even do different colors in different areas. Now, because I'm coming from above, we can see some of the actual individual LEDs. So I want to try to clean that up a bit and, you know, diffuse it. So like the red area, I like how you don't see the LEDs, but it kind of glows, if you will. Okay, so I decided to add one more step into the whole process. So basically the same board that I used to put up on the top, this is the remaining board. And what I'm doing is, because there's two different pieces, I need to make sure they have a flat level ground. So I'm gonna put this underneath the shelves, paint it so it looks better in the house. So everything can be nice and level, and I can make them look like it's one solid piece. All right, so check it out. So now I got both sets of lights in there, and actually the second was a lot easier, obviously mapping it out and having a better understanding of how to do it. And it looks really, really cool. I actually even like the difference with the red in the center there. Now, see how the top at the moment, there's that gap in between the different parts. That's why I'm doing that extra board underneath to level things out, so they'll be snugged up against each other nice and tight and look even cleaner. But that's looking really, really cool, even without the stuff on it. I'm excited. So here everything is all together. All the shelves are put together, got the board underneath, the lights have all been adhered to the back side nicely, and all the shelves have been decorated except for that one little center area that can't be seen yet anyways. So the next thing I'll be showing is what it actually looks like from the computer with the background, but all in all, I'm pretty pleased with how this has turned out. Okay, so it's time for the big reveal. So what you're seeing right now, this is basically how I've had my video stuff for the longest time, where I can do an image or a video, whatever I want back behind, because I could always hide what was back there. Nobody would ever see anything. Now, the reason I think this is still important is it gave me the ability to do stuff like this, where I could be doing a screen share and be in front of it still. And so it's important to me to still have the ability to ultimately do that green screen. So again, what we did is we moved the green screen forward, but what I'm gonna do, let's turn that off, and I'll flip around here. And now you get to see what the brand new background actually looks like. So I hope this video might inspire you to actually try to do this yourself. You know, as a quick recap, basically the shelves, they cost me about $90 each. So we had $180 for the two shelves. The LED light kits were about $30 each. So we had another 60 there, puts us at $240. The paint, I ended up going to Lowe's and went to their Miss Tint section and was able to find something for $15. That's putting us to $255. And then let's put on the board, I already had it, but let's put that on there for another $25. Will take us to $280 completely spent. Now, all the stuff that was back behind there, I will say I've been planning to do this for probably a year and a half, trying to figure out exactly how to do it. So I've been collecting little knickknacks and things that I felt would represent my character to be able to put up on the shelf. So I'm not including that because hopefully you have some of that stuff that'll be personal to you. But for less than $300, all materials, all in, I was able to redesign that whole back area, take it from an ugly wall to something pretty, and still be able to use the green screen the way I want to. So thanks again for watching, and as always, here's wishing you all a very successful week.